I ask myself, is this shit real? I contemplate about how I feel.
Hello everyone, YouTube.
Hello,
Yeah.
how you doing?
What's up?
How you doing?
Alright, I'm Shango.
And I'm Malika, and this is the Marriage Cave. Woo, woo!
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so today we got a really cool topic. Alba and Preet. So they did a video that kind of hit home for us because basically they were talking about, should you date down? Should women date down? So let's just give it a quick look.
You can't be that one, right? You can't be the one to pay for the meal and because you're dating down.
The way you said, dating down.
Finding love is not that easy, right? And it's especially hard in this economy. And guess what? Many women say they are finding it very hard to find a man who makes as much as they do. A study by Cornell University found that the country's declining marriage rate is due to the lack of financially eligible bachelors. Women are actually outpacing men with education, and this is changing the age-old mentality that men are the breadwinners. In turn, the gig or small gigs economy and lack of good jobs out there have left the ladies single and disgruntled. And researchers say they are seeing a trend of women dating down, which means, a man who I say all that. Disgruntled. This is just the reality of it. So women, we're more educated now, and I think that we're furthering our education. So with that being said, we're gonna hold off on the baby making. We're gonna hold off until we get that great job, really career driven. Mm-hmm. And I don't think there's anything wrong with hoping that there's someone either on your level or higher than you.
I guess my question would be, so are these women expecting the men to cover everything? They want those breadwinners, so they...
That's what it sounds like to me by this particular study. I have to date down now. Mm-hmm. What is that? You wanted to make more money?
Look at her face. Her face is amazing.
Okay, so this one hit like really home for us because when I met this handsome thing here, I was making more than you.
Yes. I made $12,000 an hour. I had 2 jobs.
Right.
I was making 12 and like 9 of the other one, so. Yeah,
10 years ago, and I mean, the cost of living wasn't as high as it is now, but you had 2 jobs, and even with both of them, it wasn't,
it wasn't up to, it was still below poverty range.
Yeah, below what I was making.
Yeah, below what she was making, yes.
So anyways, the idea of dating down is funny to me, and we're going to get into why.
Yeah, definitely, because dating down, I don't really care for that term.
Yeah, I mean, the term is disrespectful within itself, and if you, in your mind, if you believe you're dating down, you're not going to have any respect for that man in the relationship, and that relationship will not last, so go ahead and save yourself the trouble. But let me go ahead and read the comment that I put in the group. So I put, when I met my husband, I made more than him. I didn't think anything of it. Now I'm a stay-at-home mom, and he makes over twice what I was making. We're best friends, and I definitely dated up because his character, morals, and work ethic were all there when we met. And so immediately I got some likes. I got a reply that said, of course you thought something of it. If he hadn't eventually started making more money, you'd be out. You're basically proving the point. And so I answered him, not true. We both agreed when we met that I would stay home while our children are young. This meant he had to make more money. I sacrificed my career and invested my resources and networking into helping him achieve success. I knew he could do it, and he did. If he ever fell in hard times, I would continue to back him. There is a such thing as love,
that's what we're trying to say. One of the big deals I'm getting at is that, you're saying dating down and your mindset is he's already disqualified. There's nothing. I mean, what we was talking about is that I had, potential to come up even though I wasn't making as much. So if you look at that, you have to look at other aspects of the person. I was doing 2 jobs, already went to school, got a degree. Sometimes things take a little longer for men for different reasons. Right. And you have to pay attention to the whole person. Just don't disqualify for one idea. Be like, you're on a date and be like, well, right now I'm only making $60,000, but it's like, okay, I got a phone call to make, and you're done with them.
And I don't want to say this. It's like you can do whatever the hell you want, but if you find yourself at a certain age and you're still single, well then, because I was 25 when we met, and I was ready to start. I was, ready to get married, and start having babies. We have 5 babies, and I've always wanted a big family. And with women, the biological clock is different for us. But if you find yourself single at a certain point, and you want to be in a relationship, maybe you should consider, what we have to say. So here's the thing. I mentioned his morals, his character, and his work ethic. All right. So first of all, you had a 4-year degree and a 4-year STEM degree. So I knew it was only a matter of time before you get a degree in your field. A lot of black women are like, oh my God, I'm not dating potential. And I understand why you say that, because you've gotten burned. And I've been in a predicament where I could say, I got burned, but it was like the dude had bad morals. He had bad character. So the warning signs was there. It had nothing to do with the fact that he wasn't making more than me. It had everything to do with what's in here. Because it's all about what's in here and what's in here. So if somebody you meet and they don't have a damn job and they're showing that they're a bum, well, no, you can't help him. I mean, what I'm saying? No, if they're content, because the fact that you was grinding your ass off with 2 jobs, barely sleeping, I'm like, all right, I know that he's willing to bust his ass.
Right, because that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about just dating potential. This guy's just don't make enough and he's okay with it. Because we said in our last video, ambition is masculine. And we have to look at that. You look at those quality traits. If he's ambitious and looking at, I'm even multiple stuff. I got this going, projects. That's what we're thinking about. But he don't have this point yet.
Because you're his helpmate.
Yeah.
If further along in the comments I said, look, I invested in him. You know what I mean? I helped. I knew. I said, okay, with that type of degree, I know that you can get into this field. You know what I mean? The oil field is big where we live. And so I'm like, you're gonna make $100K plus with getting the right gig there. And I polished up his resume, shot it out, and how long it took for you to start getting calls?
Oh, it wasn't long at all. Within a couple weeks. If that.
And so we switched places right quick. Next thing you know, about a year into it, I'm pregnant. He's taking care of the bills, and that's a wrap. Now, potential don't mean, oh, he's he got that ambition, baby. Look at his eyes. And I'm not talking about some bullshit like pie in the sky dream. Okay, he had a STEM degree.
Yeah, pie in the sky. Like, I gotta start this business, and it's taken like 3 years.
Yeah, no bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
No bullshit.
And I know couples that are already married where the wife helped the husband start a trucking business. You know what I mean? Like, she met him and he was a regular truck driver, and she was like, you know what? We can buy our own truck. You know what I'm saying? And we can. And now they hit the millions club. They have a whole trucking company together. Yeah. And so she could have met this dude and been like, he's a truck driver. I am an accountant. He's less than me. I'm dating down. And so she'd be by herself and she wouldn't be in the millions club.
So many stories like that.
Because he had to drive the truck. She's not a man. Well, I'm not saying women can't drive trucks, all right? So don't come at me with that. But anyways, I'm just saying, like, the labor part of it. You know what I'm saying? I know another couple where same thing. Dude was out of jail. And she knew him before he went to jail. So, But I'm just saying it was like, he drove the dump truck. She wasn't driving that shit. You know what I'm saying? That was like a lot of man labor. They hit the jackpot. Boom. Another couple.
What's that?
The taxi story?
The taxi story.
The taxis. That's a good story.
The taxi story was a great story.
Yeah.
And I can tell this one. She told me, because she told me it, but it was a good story that the woman, she just got out of a bad relationship where she walked away from one. It was like the guy was already married and wasn't going on. She got a taxi cab with the guy, and from there it took off where, they hit it off. They started a whole taxi cab business. Yeah, that was back in the day. Back in the day before, before Uber and all that. But yeah, she could have looked at him like, you're a cab driver, ew. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden it's just like, they also hit the millions club. A lot of these couples work together because that's the power of unity. That's what, I'm not sure if you're Christian or whatever you are, but that's what the helpmate is for, is to enhance what he already has. And so I saw what was in his heart, what was in his head. Dude had a degree and all of this stuff. And I wish I would look at him talking about, like, I'm dating down. That's disrespectful. I don't like that term. I felt just like that man in the video. Dating down. Dating down. Teamwork make the dream work. And I don't like dating down. They got things going on for them. The man has this. You got to look at the whole picture of anybody. Really of anybody. You know what I mean? Not just the financial. And so, with women, and I know a lot of them, y'all worked hard, went to school, make a lot of money. It's just the weight of it is something is a little different. Whereas you making this amount, and you want a guy. I'm just saying, you make $250, right?
$250K.
$250K.
I date her. No, I'm joking.
And then, all right, you want a guy that makes $350. He's at least an equal more than you at your same age. You're 35 making this much. He's 35 making this much. And it's like, okay, you don't have kids. If you have kids, what's going on is like, all right, it depends on what this person's looking for. You got to ask the question, will this person that makes this amount pick me? Because it's like the weight is different a lot of times. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying. I'm not, disqualifying your education, your money you got. That's very, very good. But you got to think about that and how much time goes on with what people are looking for.
Yeah, a lot of times the higher earning men, most of them, from my experience, will usually be married. You know what I'm saying? Like
most
when I was, because they say, oh well, you're not a 22-year-old woman anymore and all of this. But even when I was 22, most of the guys that were, older than me, they were already married. So it's just like the idea of dating the high value man, that just wasn't my experience. I didn't see any high value men that weren't already married, because if he truly is high value, then not only does he have the money together, but he has this relationship together. If you get with like a 40-year-old dude or 40-plus-year-old man and you're saying, well, he's a high value man because, he got this money, but why is he single? Unless his wife died, then I'm kind of wondering, like, if
Red
he don't
flags.
have a trail of tears behind him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the case. I mean, and the guy that makes this much, let's say he is single, he just, whatever happened, all right. No, but he wants children. All right, talking about this and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't he pick a younger lady instead of, if you're at a certain age yourself to kind of work up? And is the career going to be important to him? It would be more of like, you might have to accept the career, because usually the woman stays home. Right.
He might want, he might want a good stepmom for his kids, and you're busy with your career. So it's like, it might be harder to find your financial match for a number of different reasons. And I mean, I'm not telling women what to do, all right? Yeah. Because some are like, I don't have to date that. I want this. Do what you want. I'm just saying, like, if you do want a relationship, you don't have to be in a situation where, you think you're dating down, because now you have a bad attitude and you're not going to get what you want. And you could have a very fruitful life with this guy, because men can do a lot of stuff that women, quote unquote, not can't do or don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different labor and jobs, like, plumbing business and
there was a line
different, just different.
Out. Yeah, you go sit on top of a pole and cut the power at like 2 a.m. Make sure we got our nice heat and lights.
Right.
But you gotta do it. That's the job. Do y'all want to do that?
A lot of these men that have trades, I would say, is high value, because for some reason, me personally, I think like that hard labor job, I think is sexy. I just do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think
you got the skills. You can start businesses from that. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You really make things work. Construction is a big deal.
I know a lot of men. I'm sorry, did I cut you?
No. Yes. No, don't do that. No, you can.
Oh no, I'm in the corner. No, but I know a lot of dudes that, like, one dude, he was building fences, and same thing. He made, they make a lot of money now doing a business and stuff like that. We live in the United States, so there's all kind of different ways. I would say if you are going to date a man and you feel like you want him to make more, because what I hear a lot of women saying is, I don't want to date his potential. And it's just like, well, if you got burned before with dating somebody's potential, you're not a good judge of potential. You did something wrong. What you probably dated was a man that you thought was so sexy. He had everything you wanted physically. And then all of a sudden you wanted to turn him into, you wanted to make a zero a hero. You weren't looking at his inequalities. You was looking at his physical qualities and, his charisma and, the sex. That's what you were looking at, and that's why you got burned. I'm talking about a person's inequality. Because if you got burned, you're not a good judge of potential. That's my opinion. Deal with that.
Yeah, because potential is different. Potential is something that means that they're actually doing something. Right. Not potential is that he look a certain way. He got things behind him that's happening at the moment. He didn't get there yet, but it's like, all right, other things are like he's maintaining. Some things need a certain direction. They need a certain, resume. There's certain things that might be missing that you can add to the table to help this person get up there. Nobody's actually take care of a person. They're already balancing themselves.
Yeah, we're not
saying that.
Give it a bum.
Give it a bum.
But I hear a lot of black women say, I don't want to lower my quality of living. And it's just like, if anybody make a decent living, like, most grown-ups, you should make at least like 40, 50,000 plus. I'm talking about if you're over 30. I would have at least that. You can't just be at Taco Bell. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sorry, but I don't think that's much potential there. Like, if you a grown person, 30 plus, and you do some fast food shit, unless you're the manager, because the managers can make decent money. You know what I'm saying? You better be a manager if you're 30.
Yeah,
and you at the fast food place.
And that's what we're talking about now. If these ladies are talking about that they only pull the options that they're making 100K and all they're seeing is niggas at Taco Bell and the department stores and that. Well,
You better be the manager.
that's a whole different story. That may be a whole nother video on how we can address the men on that. Because I agree that that's not, you know, because if the multiple men are doing that, it's like, we need to talk on ambition skills. And then it's like, wait, you know, that's not good.
But yeah, I mean, I wanted to say, like, he has to have ambition. Like, I know this one couple, they didn't make it, they divorced. And so I saw 3 good stories. Here's a negative story. He was a barber, she was a pharmacist. She was cool with it, you know what I mean? She liked, you know, liked the brother and all of this. And so anyways, when they got together, she tried to do what we talking about. She trying to be like, look, why don't you get, I could invest in you. Why don't you get like 3 or 4 barbershops? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we can start spreading this. We can come up. And he was like, no, I just want to cut hair. You know, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't want 3 and 4 barbershops. I like cutting hair. I like shooting the breeze with the fellas. I'm really not trying to do all that. And, you know, she just couldn't take it. Like, it was so important to her that, you know, that he kind of made what she made, or that he was more ambitious. And it's like, you know, that was a conversation I would say that they should have had in the beginning. Like, what's your 5-year plan? What's your 10-year plan?
Where you going?
You know, to see if he had, because I knew you had ambition.
Yeah.
I knew you had ambition. I knew you weren't happy with where you are and you wanted to raise up. And I felt like we could do that together.
Yeah. Because that's important. I mean, if we could have got, he's a plumber and satisfied being a plumber, and it's like, wait a minute, you don't need to be this cap out. You don't want to start a business as a plumber. It's like, no, I just want to go work and under this person that. Well, yeah.
If it's important to you. One last thing, somebody said, like, we don't want our standard of living to go down. And it's like, you know, it's like, look, I like to travel so often. And if he not down with that, if he don't have the money to travel every time I travel. You know, I know one chick, and she's divorced now, so it's all about your priorities. But she was addicted to travel. She was like, look, you know, I travel around the world. If he's talking about he can't afford it, or he don't think it's important enough to spend money on. So she would travel without her husband and go here and there, and they're divorced. So, you know, it's all about your priorities. I mean, men and women have to make sacrifices if you want to be married, if you want to raise a family. It's always going to be a sacrifice. Because I think everybody deserves love in their life. I mean, this is a beautiful experience that I truly never thought that I would love a man the way that I love this man right here. I love you with all my heart, all my soul. And I mean, I dated up, and it wasn't about what you made. And, you know, if anything ever happened where you couldn't make that money, you best believe that I will be here for you always.
Thank you. We say what we have to say. Hopefully, if y'all like, you know, subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
We'll be back with so many more videos.
Some more. And I am Shango.
And I'm Malika.
We are out.
Peace.
Peace.